Hey, hey, what's up, everyone? Carlos Martinez coming to you live again here. Sorry about that earlier video. The phone got too hot, and so that's why I'm doing it in the shade now. So, but anyway, let me know where you're tuning in from, please. If you're watching it live, what part of the world, of what city, state, country. If you're watching the replay, just type in hashtag replay. But anyway, I want to talk to you about an important video that I watched recently, and I've watched it before many times, but I haven't watched it in a while. And it's if you look at the title of this live, it says, the number one habit that billionaires run daily. The number one habit that billionaires run daily. So we're going to get into a little bit of a scientific explanation, a biblical explanation, and we're going to get into a little story to kind of give you an example of it. So anyway, let me know where you're tuning in from, please. And if you're watching again for the second time, I do apologize because the phone got hot and it shut down on me. I was almost done. I was like 30 seconds away. I was gonna wrap it up and finish up the live, and then the phone just shut off because the whatchamacallit, the phone just got too hot because I was out in the sun. So I'm gonna have to do it in the shade from now on, at least during the summer and stuff. So, but anyway, so let me talk to you about this important habit, this video that I watched. Okay, again, the title. What's up, Georgia Diaz Reigns? Hello, my sister. How's it going? Hello from California. It's a beautiful 80-degree day here in Chicago. Absolutely loving it, but I'm gonna have to do it in the shade because the phone gets hot and it's gonna shut off. I mean, I don't want that to happen to me again. So, but anyway, so here's the habit. What is the number one habit that billionaires do daily, right? The billionaires do daily, right? Because I'd like to know, right? I'd like to know what Hey, Jessica Lynn, what's up? Hello again. Yeah, thank you for joining my live again. As I mentioned earlier, folks, my phone got hot out in the sun and it shut down on me. And I was just about to wrap up my live, so I'm going to do it all over. So thank you so much for hanging out again. All right, but anyway, so what's the number one habit that billionaires run daily? Well, the number one habit that billionaires run daily is visualization. Visualization. All right. In order for you to achieve any goal that or desire or dream that God placed in your heart, right? You need to be able to visualize it, because if you don't visualize it, right? If you're just visualizing your current present situation, you're never going to get out of it, right? You're just never going to get out of it. And that was me. I used to struggle with visualization for a long time, but now I make it part of my daily habits, no matter what situation I'm in. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to encounter tough times, right? Tough times are still going to come. And I just look at tough times as, hey, what does God want to teach me here in the valley that I'm not going to learn on a mountaintop, right? Hello, Celica. How are you, Celica? I hope all is well. And it looks like you're in Hawaii, it looks like. So that's all. Did you just say hi, or are you in Hawaii? So, but anyway, so, okay, folks, so let's talk about visualization, okay? So what's the video that I watched? So I watched the video. A good friend of mine from Canada shared a video with me. And again, I've seen this video before, and the video on YouTube is with Mel Robbins, right? Mel Robbins is a very famous author, right? Motivational speaker. She's an awesome lady. And now everything that she does, right? She does with a science perspective. So we're going to talk a little bit about the science of it. Then we're going to get into a biblical side of it, and then we're going to get to that quick story, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay. So on the science side of it, right? She talks about something called the RAS, reticular activating system. Reticular activating system. So this reticular activating system, it's in our mind, okay? And it acts as a filter system, right? It acts as a filter system that filters out the things that you want and filters out the things that you don't want. Well, guess what? Guess who creates this this reticular activating system? You do. I do. We do. We create it, right? By the programming, by the visualization that we put in our mind. Now, the nice part about it is that it can be reprogrammed, right? So even though you may have been raised, let's say, for example, in a household, right, that, you were poor, or maybe you looked at money negatively, or maybe perhaps, you didn't grow up with a father or a mother, right? So that's kind of the things that you grew up with. And I'm sorry, there's a plane coming overhead right now. All right. But those are kind of things that you went through. Hey, Cassandra, thank you for joining my live. You're awesome. Hello from California. All right. So anyway, but you could reprogram that filter, that reticular activating system, to whatever you want. Because here's the thing. Whatever you visualize, here's an important part of the video that actually I didn't even mention in the previous video I was attempting. So your mind cannot tell the difference between what is real, in other words, your present situation, and what you're visualizing. It cannot tell the difference, okay? So what happens is if you start to visualize your dreams, your goals, your desires of what you want to get to, your mind cannot tell the difference of what the situation you're currently in. So let's say the situation you're currently in, let's say you're flat broke. All right. Let's say you're flat broke, or you just lost a job, or you had some investments, or the company you went out of business, whatever the case may be. Let's just say that's the case. But if you continue to think about your present situation, well, it becomes your reality, even though it is your reality at the moment. But your mind will never, ever, ever give you the desire, the tools, the blessings to achieve your goals, right? Because you're always visualizing your present situation. So instead, visualize the end, what you're trying to achieve, whether it's a relationship goal, whether it's a monetary goal, a financial goal, a career goal. Visualize what you want for your kids, visualize the kind of fitness level you want to be, and so on and so forth. So you start with the end in mind, right? You start with the end in mind. It's so important, right? So and like I said, everything that Mel Brooks does, or Mel Robbins, everything that she does is based on science, and she's got the science to back this up. Okay, and you'll see a lot of things with this too. Like, for example, even in the documentary called Heal with Dr. Joe Dispenza, right? In the documentary called Heal, if you've never seen that documentary, which is free on Netflix, check out that documentary, and you will see how people have healed their bodies from any condition. Okay, any condition. Guess how? By just their thoughts, by just their thoughts. I mean, you have people like that were quadriplegics, people with 4th-stage degree of cancer that were able to heal themselves or start walking again just through the power of the mind, right? And guess what they're doing? They're reprogramming the reticular activating system, right? So that's the science-based part of it, guys, okay? Well, how about the biblical side of it, okay? Well, on the biblical side of things, right? So let's take, for example, in the Old Testament, the story with Abraham, right? The prophet Abraham and his wife Sarah. Well, they're old at this point, right? They're like in their 90s and stuff, right? And they had no kids, and they wanted kids really bad, right? And so guess what? But God promised them. He took them out. He took them outdoors, out into the desert. He says, "Hey, look at the stars. Look at the sky. It's nighttime. Look at the stars." All right, guys. And guys, I don't know if you have been somewhere where you can see like the stars lit up. Okay, so when I was in Puerto Rico 3 weeks ago, almost 4 weeks ago for vacation, man, in Chicago, you don't see that many stars because of all the lights around here, right? But in Puerto Rico, you saw the stars a lot. Well, I remember growing up as a kid in Mexico. I mean, when you see stars in Mexico, okay, there's not a single bare space. Like the sky is covered with stars, okay? So I can just imagine what Abraham was looking at when God told him, hey, look up into the sky. Look at all the stars, guys. And I don't know if you guys have seen stars like that, a sky like that. I'm telling you, there's not a single space. It's all loaded with stars. And it's a beautiful, beautiful sight. So I can imagine Abraham looking up in the sky, a dark sky loaded with stars. And God's telling him, hey, Abraham, don't worry. Trust me, that you're going to have more descendants than the number of the stars that are in the sky, right? And he's like, what? How are you even going to do that, Lord? Like, I'm an old man. So guess what Abraham's thinking? He's thinking the human way, right? He's not thinking this is God that can do the impossible, which he ended up doing the impossible, because you look at Abraham's descendants, it ended up being true. He's got more descendants than stars in the sky, right? And then also there's another scripture, okay, in the book of Habakkuk. So Steve Harvey, the actor, comedian, a talk show host. I love watching Steve Harvey motivational videos. He quotes the scripture Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3 a lot. He says, hey, look for the vision, and though the vision tarry means delay, though the vision delays, okay, be patient, it will come to pass. When will it come to pass? When God says it's going to come to pass. See, that's the problem with our dreams and our visions. We want them now, right? Because we're naturally impatient, right? We want like quick gratification. We don't want to wait. We don't want to delay. We don't want to pray. We don't want to work towards them as hard as needed, right? We just want it now. And a lot of it is based on fear too, and actually not trusting God, right? But God says, hey, it will come to pass when? At the appointed time. When is the appointed time? when he says it's the appointed time, right? Not when we say it, because I know we want it now, and I know I'm guilty of that too, right? But it happens, right? So that's the biblical side of things, guys. So I gave you, the importance of visualization through science, right? Giving you Mel Brooks and Dr. Joe Dispenza. I can't say Mel Brooks, not Mel Brooks. Mel Robbins as the and Dr. Joe Dispenza as the science part of it. But I also gave you the biblical side of it. And let me just tell you a quick story, okay? And we'll get this wrapped up, okay? But so I was reading this story about the actor Will Smith, okay, and how what he does to prepare to get ready for his movie roles, okay. And so Will Smith, all right, and there was someone from the newspaper or some kind of, I don't know, a magazine or whatever. He had an appointment with Will Smith to go to Will Smith's house, his mansion and stuff, to interview Will Smith, to whatever Will wanted to talk about, okay. And so Will he invites him in and he takes him to his room. And in this room, there's this big giant wall loaded with index cards and papers and notes and like loaded with it. And the person, the reporter that was going to interview him, he's like, "Will, what is all that stuff?" He says, "Well, that's the role that I'm playing right now. I'm as you know, I'm always reading scripts and reading the movie. Well, that's the script that I'm reading, but I break it out in the note cards." He goes, "But Will, that looks so confusing. Where do you start?" He goes, "Oh, that's easy. I just start in the end." Right? I get into the visualization of what this character, what the end of the movie, what this character is going to become, and then I just work my way backwards. I just work my way backwards, right? And that's what we should be doing, right? So what is your vision? What is the dream that God has placed in your heart, right? That your desires, and some of these you probably had since you were just a little kid, right? What is that desire? Well, start with the end in mind. Start with the end in mind, okay? And work your way backwards on what you got to do there. Now, a lot of times we get stuck on the how. Well, I'm $43,000 in credit card debt. How am I going to get out of this? I'm 110 pounds overweight. How am I going to get out of this if I don't have time? Right? I don't have energy. How, right? We worry about all these little things, right? Which are important. I'm not saying they're not important, right? But we get too stuck on the how, right? I just had a financial setback. How am I going to get out of this? Right? I just lost my job. I just got bad news from the doctor that, I got cancer. How am I going to get out of this? My kid has gone down the wrong path. How am I going to get out of this? Right? But we're going to talk about the how tomorrow. We're going to talk about goal setting, right? A lot of times we get so stuck on the how that what happens is when we stay so focused on the how, okay, we stay so focused on the how, anxiety sets in and doubt sets in. What do you got to do? Stay focused on the vision and your visualization, folks. It doesn't take a long time, right? You just got to be consistent with it. You got to visualize in the morning when you wake up. You got to visualize throughout the day, just a few seconds. You got to visualize at night. Focus on what you want, because as I said earlier, your mind cannot tell the difference between what's reality and what you're visualizing. So focus on what you're visualizing and stop focusing on what your current situation is. Because if you continue to focus on what your current situation is, you're gonna stay stuck. All right. So I hope you got value from this, folks. If you did, please share this out with other people. And tomorrow, stay tuned for tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about goal setting tomorrow. All right. So love and appreciate you. God bless you again. Thank you. Again, I do apologize. I had to do this video a second time because the one I did the first time, the phone got too hot and it shut off on me. So that's why I'm doing it on. You're noticing probably looking a little darker now because I have to do it in the shade because it's 80 plus degrees here today, and the phone was just out too much and it just shut down on me. So I just wanted to make sure I got this video done. So love and appreciate you. God bless you. Please share this out with other people, and stay tuned for tomorrow when we talk about goal setting and the importance of that and how you can accomplish your goals one bite at a time, one step at a time. All right. Love you so much. God bless you. Until the next time. Bye for now. Love you guys. Bye-bye.